Everything good. Yep. I'm all good.
And what is good in your hood, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Diverse Comics and Pop. Okay, today is another great live. We got a special guest today, a special guest. His name is Gerald King, and he's an
What up?
entrepreneur. Art-Treprenuer, that's a new word, ladies and gentlemen. Entrepreneur. We're going to find out what this entrepreneur is all about. So, let's get down to it. Gerald King, take the stage. Let everybody know who you're about, man.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's going on, Raymond? Everybody in diverse comics world.
It's
You know what I'm saying? It's Gerald King. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Chicago native. You know what I'm saying? Proud of that. I've been drawing for my whole life. You know what I'm saying? I'm a legacy. You know, my father been a photographer in Chicago for many, many years. You know, I started off just hanging out with him, going on different, photo shoots and birthday parties, senior pictures, weddings, doing stuff like that. And I always been an artist. I was always into comic books, all the old school stuff. You know, I'm a big Jack Kirby fan, big Stan Lee fan, John Buscema, all the old school people. Some of the people that they didn't get the recognition that they were supposed to get, but I was always into that. It was something that kept me off the streets, kept me out of gangs, you know. And then when I turned 12, 13, I got into the Image comics, saying Mr. Liefeld, McFarlane, everybody else, saying. But I was connecting to Rob characters because he was so young coming out.
yeah.
He was kind of like the Kobe Bryant of comics, wise beyond his years. You know what I'm saying? So I was into all that. He did the Spike Lee commercial. I used to pause the screen, put my paper up to the screen and try to draw X-Force. So, that's how I started with figure drawing. And then I started going to the library and reading different books just about art and stuff. And I've just been doing it for many years, man, and I'm 45 years old now. And, it's been like a 30-year anniversary ever since, I discovered all that stuff. So that's where I am right now, man. And like I was on, just getting on Facebook and internet and all that stuff, I discovered Agent Solo because I think I typed in, I don't know if I told you, I went to Google.
Really?
And I'm like, it got to be some black, I can't be the only black comic book guy in Chicago. It got to be some more people out there, right? So I think I typed in Google and I just typed in Black Heroes from Chicago or something. And I found a Kickstarter campaign or something. There was a guy named Agent Solo. And I was like, I heard of Solo because I was thinking of Mario Van Peebles' movie.
Yeah,
a movie called Solo, right? And so I was like, Agent Solo, I never heard of that. And then it was, I read I read little bios and stuff on different characters, right? And I'm like, a guy from Chicago to fight with his hands, like I thought about that whole concept. I'm like, whole city full of guns. Why would a guy just fight with his bare hands, and I thought that was a cool concept. And I was like, oh, that's dope. Then I got the very first one, man, and I was blown away, dog. Like real shit.
We appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
Man, I was like, whoa, what is this? Because I don't know if you remember, Milestone had just announced that they was coming back out, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, for y'all that don't know, Milestone Comics, big black comic book company DC bought. And so I thought Agent Solo was a part of their relaunch. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, this must be one of their characters. I didn't know too many black comic book makers.
Daily BS. He said, what's up, fellas? Sorry, I'm late. We late? So I guess if you late, we both late. Everybody late today. But you enjoy the show, Daily. Get you some big ass bucket of butter popcorn if you got some. Enjoy this segment. Keep going, Gerald.
Yeah, and so I'm like, oh, this must be a part of their relaunch or something, because I ain't never heard of no other, not too many other black comic book companies. But with the with internet and social media stuff like that, it's easy to find a lot more people, that's creatives. And I got on Kickstarter and I was just checking out different things. I was like, I saw Agent Solo, I said I'm gonna get number one and see what it's all about, right? And like I said, I got it. I love the quality, man. I like the you know what I'm saying? That comic book was reminiscent of stuff I used to read when I was 13 and I just started doing comics. It reminded me of, like, I can tell you, you know, you grew up with the same stuff I did, the Lifestyle comic books,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying? And I saw some of your artwork and it kind of reminded me of that old school, you know, like how to draw the Marvel way. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you did your homework on how to make comic books. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I just appreciate that quality, man. I was hooked from day one, man. I was like, because when you actually read the actual story is good. You know what I'm saying? You ain't just throw a bunch of characters in there with black faces. It was like you actually read this story and it sucks you in. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
I don't want to tell people what's in the comic book, but I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say it like this. Raymond got this character called Strikeout, right? And the way he's introduced in a comic book, it's just crazy. I was like, you know, my director mind came on. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is a movie script. This is you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just that whole beginning scene and just the action pack, you know, the action packness of it. It reminded me of. I used to watch Channel 66 when I was in Chicago, and $6 Million Man, and then Incredible Hulk used to come on.
The
and
Fall.
then we used to watch them up. Yeah. Then Chuck Norris. It just put me in the mindset of all that. Like I was like, man, this is taking me back. And so I was like, man, I got to get part 2, see, because I got to see what happens next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when part 2 dropped, that was even more like it was like the action was turned up. And I just been hooked ever since, man. I was like, man, Diverse Comics, man, they about to do it big, and y'all have been, you know.
It's just I always wanted to make comics. You know, comics were meant to be fun. Yeah. I hate cookie cutter comics. I hate the whole talking head thing. I just couldn't take it. I get bored quick, man. So I always needed that. I need that macho show, like Rob always said, the macho show.
The macho show.
Macho show. You know. So,
that's right.
So
I know what he meant when he said that too, because like we kind of got away from that. Me and my cousin over there on the west side, we used to watch like Delta Force, and I don't know if you remember them Pierce Brosnan, not Pierce Brosnan, but I can't remember. He's be an old man living daylights.
In the Commando and all the 80 movies, American Ninja and all that. Yeah,
you know, with the got the vest with the grenades, you know. Every 5 minutes, you know.
All that stuff, man. I read that stuff. I'm surprised my mom allowed me to watch all that, but she did. I didn't mean like I would have to hurt nobody. But
so my mother was into you know, my mother grew up. She was into big action, you know, 70s, 80s movies, the tough guy stuff. She used to be all into that, and you know, it was violent and all that. But what it did, it kept us off the street, and she always knew where I was because I was always in the room drawing. You know I didn't want to go out and gang bang and do all that. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to stay in the house, get my X-Force comic books, and just do my thing. Just sit there and draw and just, you know, and just kind of be in my own world, man. Because you know how it is in Chicago. It's easy to get caught up and.
Yeah, it is. It's peer pressure. You know, that's what a lot of people don't understand. Coming from, you know, Black community here in Chicago, it's like a peer pressure. Like everybody, you know, gang banging, selling drugs, you know, and they all try to get the girls. But me, I was more of a nerd type of guy. You know, I got caught up in some bad stuff. You know, when I got in my teens, I kind of got caught up in that bad mix. But I was able.
You want to get respect in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You get older.
I did, you know, I did my knucklehead stuff by myself. I know not to do it with other guys because I was end up in jail time. So I did my knucklehead stuff.
You didn't put it on your computer or your phone, what you did and all that. You just kind of did it.
You know, we had anything like that. It was like 90s. It's the Master P era. So I did my knucklehead stuff around that time. But I learned from it after seeing a friend of mine, you know, get dealt with on the spot. So that was you have to even go that route no more. And
being from Chicago, man, we all got that one homie we lost. We all got like maybe more than one. we all got that one friend we grew up with that didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of why I do so many jobs. That's, you know, I'm a mural artist. I'm a commercial artist. I like comic books. I ain't doing all this to brag or boast or nothing like that. It's just I had a lot of people that didn't make it, man, and they always believed in me and told me, you know, hey, keep drawing, keep learning, keep doing your thing, and things will happen for you. And if I'd have had them people guiding me, like my father, you know, taking me under his wing and kind of showing me, you know, different side of Chicago, man, because Chicago is a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful city. A lot of opportunities.
But there's places he take me that you won't see on the tourist map. You know what I'm saying? So so that's what, like, when I go to create, that's what I always remember, you know.
Yeah, we finna get into it about what you like to do, man. And I noticed one thing about you when I met you was you multi-talented as hell. Like, you know, you do so much, man. Like the with the murals and stuff, all you do, man. How did you discover? I mean, how did you get? I mean, what was the age when you started doing this? Like with the with the creativeness of the paintings and the crafting you be doing. Like I be seeing you draw stuff on. I seen you. I don't know if that was a bird food cage you did or something.
It's a stash box where people can keep their, you know, dispensary weed in, or whatever, you know.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's very crafty. How long you been doing? I mean, what?
It actually, man, it actually came by not gonna say accident, but you know, like when I moved here to because I went from Chicago to Kalamazoo, Michigan, and that's why I went to high school and all that. And then when I got out of high school, I didn't want to live there no more because I was always having issues in that town because, you know, they didn't like us because we was from Chicago, so it was always that discrimination.
Yeah.
So I moved here to Battle Creek, Michigan. Met my wife, had my daughter, and I started going to college here. And it was, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, it was hard. You
have a wonderful wife. I met Jenny. Jenny's a very wonderful woman.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
If you look at Jenny,
she held the camera all right when we did the interview. So
yeah, she's amazing. Your wife is amazing. I met her at first time meeting at the convention, and your daughter. They're amazing people, man. So when you started doing this painting and stuff, did you catch on? Did you finally know this is something you wanted to do? Like be this?
It was like, I don't know, it was a crazy time, man. It was a crazy time because, like, I moved up here and I got to college, right? And I was the head of the animation. You know, I got to do an animation, and I did intro to design, and I had a painting class. I had all three of these classes at the same, like in the same semester, like intro to animation, intro to just designing. But I had to get all these books, and what I discovered was, and I also had intro to psychology, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I discovered when I got all three of these books and I was reading them is that they had the same material in them. You know what I'm saying? Like, psychology was connected to basic design. Basic design, you need to know basic design to do animation. And you need to know photography to know how to draw pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have some basic skill on composition and stuff like that. So what I discovered, like, all this stuff is the same, man. You know, it's all art. It's all about creating. It's just different sides of it. And once I discovered that, I, you know, talking to my teachers in college and stuff, and they would come to me and be like, "Hey, my friend want a picture painted on her wall," and I'm like, "Okay, I can do something like that." You know, I'm into Disney and animation and all that stuff. I can draw Disney stuff like it ain't like nobody's business, right? And I've been into anime my whole life, so. You know what I'm saying? Anime is something I can draw that stuff blindfolded, man. It's in my head, you know, from watching Voltron and, you know, all that stuff growing up, you know, sitting in front of that TV for hours. So I did that project, and then it just, you know, just word of mouth. Like, somebody saw that, I posted it one day. Next person was like, "Hey, can you do this over here?" And then I'm like, "Oh man, I'm getting good at painting." Like, and I started learning to draw and paint stuff real big. When I was in school, I just had a piece of paper, but I learned to, like, you know, like comic book paper and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I started getting more comfortable because I'm like, oh, now I can actually see the eyes. I don't gotta, you know.
Yeah.
My animation teacher told me to draw stuff bigger, And as I start doing that, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm seeing the mistakes I'm making and paying attention to the marks I make, and I just kept practicing and practicing over and over again. I try to get better every day, man. Every day I forget my whole style of drawing and try to draw something else. And
that's what it takes. Like I still study. So I still study. Get better. Like I still watch a lot of Dave Finch now. I shows a lot of techniques, stuff that I don't really know how to do good at. But since I've been watching him, I really been getting pretty good. So practice out perfect. You always want to, as an artist, I say this because you never satisfied. Well, I can't speak for every artist, but I know I'm not never satisfied with what I do. Some people might, oh man, that's great, but I'm not satisfied because I feel like I could do better.
Exactly.
And as a storyteller, so what was your first comic book you ever read, man? What was your
man, you asked me to go back.
Let's go back.
Let me think about this.
What was like that favorite one that really got you hooked? Like,
oh man, let's see. Let me answer that the right way. I used to get my comic books like I didn't go to I used to go to like Rob said, I used to go to spinner racks at different stores, and I used to just spin the rack around, see what's popping, right? I want to say the very first comic book had to be let me go back. My mother used to take me to these flea markets, and I used to get the crates of comic books because they was real cheap. Like I'm like, just give me the whole crate. I'll pay you $5. Give me whatever in there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I would go home and I never thought a comic book was bad. I just thought it was badly edited, or it was too much talking, or I never thought it was whack though. You know what I'm saying? Like no, I would have done this differently. I would have, even when I watch movies, I do that now. It's not a bad movie. I just would have edited it this way. I would have put more action over here. So I started reading Amazing Spider-Man because every crate of comic books I had like seven or eight, 9 crates, right? Every comic book had like 1,000 Amazing Spider-Mans in there. I don't know how many. I'm like, who making all these comic books? Who was drawing all these? And I always used to see the same name. It used to be like John Buscema or Stan Lee. I never pictured their faces. I'm just like, these guys just some names. If I see this guy's name, I know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man. And I'm just like, man, I'm Peter Parker out, man. Like, And then I had, then I got into like the Punisher. I said, I want to see somebody kill some people, right? Got into Punisher when Jim Lee started doing it and all that. I'm like, oh, this is, man, Jim Lee became my guy, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of got I got out of comic books back when I want to say it was after the guy left Image. After Rob left and kind of started doing his own thing, I started getting more graphic novels. And I started going back, getting all the old comic books that I had when I was a kid, during the pandemic. I had stuff to read, and I was like, I'm on my phone. I'm like, let me check out some comic book podcasts, because I seen people start getting online and talking about comics and what they loved as a kid and all that. And so, I got asked this question before, and I was like, probably Amazing Spider-Man what I first read, but I had a lot of Fantastic Four comic books too, and I had the one with Black Panther first appeared at one point. I don't know what happened to it though. But Fantastic Four was big. That's one of the biggest comic books ever.
I love Fantastic Four. That's one of my favorite team books. Yeah. That's dream. That's one of my dreams. I said that's one of my Marvel. If I was ever to do a Marvel, I said I'd love to do the Fantastic Four
run. Yeah. And it really wasn't Fantastic Four. I was a Dr. Doom fan. Like if
did you play that piano?
That was my dog, right? And I used to read that, and then it's a more. If you want to get to the DC side of it, I had a lot of Batman comic books, man. A lot of Batman comic books. A lot of Superman.
The Neil Adams detective ones.
Of course it was. Yep. And speaking of Neil, he was the first celebrity I met at the Comic-Con.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love them old school Batman, especially the Brave and the Bold ones. They was You know,
I even like that. Like I like the cartoon too. Like all the Batman cartoons I grew up with when I was in high school. You know, Michael Keaton Batman. I think that's the Michael Keaton Batman. Me and my mother went seeing it by ourselves, man. 'Cause she's a big Jack Nicholson fan.
Yeah, I remember. Same thing with my mom. I went to go see that Batman movie, man. That was I'll never forget that.
Man, that was experience.
To summer school, and I had this big wood board. You know, to the day. My mom brought me a whole bunch of T-shirts, and I drew a bunch of Batmans on the T-shirt and sold them at the school. Yeah, I was smart back then. One thing about it, I was doing this stuff in marker. I should have did an airbrush, but hey, man, I was doing it in marker.
Yeah, you ain't know back then. You ain't know.
But hey, I stole some. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Then I started discovering like independent comics too, and I think that's what after Image Comics came out, and like they was competing with DC to be number 2.
Yeah.
Something it kind of did something to me, man. Just like when you know, people don't talk about comic books and hip hop and the connection a lot, but when I was growing up, like remember when NWA, like when Ice Cube left, and then Rob left Image.
No gasoline, this and all that.
Yeah, then Rob left Image Comics at the same time.
Yeah, so matter of fact, I stayed in Argyle Gardens, Block 4. It's in the projects. I remember.
Yep. And so when all that was happening, I was like, man, I think people gonna start making more independent comics. Everybody ain't gonna be on DC and Marvel sending them pictures, and I think people gonna start doing their own thing. And that's just what happened. Like when the pandemic happened, I started seeing all kind of comic books pop up. Like
the pandemic really opened the door for creator own, because still they weren't trying to hear us. They was still trying to mute us out. And when it hit, people started losing jobs and all type of stuff, panicking. Creators who worked for those companies didn't know they was getting another paycheck. But us creator owns, we survived it because we had creator owned products, and people wanted that. Because I did
I was the pandemic. I didn't know nothing about Kickstarter until I saw Agent Solo on there, and I'm like, what is Kickstarter? And they was like, you can get a campaign going, you can get people to help funding and stuff like that. And now they got other things too. They got Kickstarter, they got other stuff.
Indiegogo. Agent Solo, the first one, the one shot, that was Kickstarter, but then I went to Indiegogo because
I started discovering, I'm like, you can get people to help you. I mean, you can get funding and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I saw that y'all had a campaign going, and it was like, it started off kind of slow, then all of a sudden it was like bam, you know what I'm saying? Y'all reached y'all goal. I'm sitting there watching the meter go up every day. Like, are they doing it? You know what I'm saying? And y'all weren't asking for much money. Y'all weren't asking for no $5 million, just a few hundred, just to get the project going. You know what I'm saying? And I respected that.
I'm not a money grab type of artist. I just love to get my books into people's hands to read. I can get, man, I'm happy with that, man. Like the money part, that comes, but I'm just like I said, I'm not that type of guy. You know what I'm saying?
But like Rob was saying on Rob's Observations, though, like you got an unlimited budget when you got that pencil and paper, man. You can draw whatever building you can draw. You know what I'm saying? It's the most satisfying thing you can do, And like I said, I was always into comic books. I always wanted to make comic books. So I respected y'all for what y'all doing, man. And and I love the quality though. That's the big thing to me. Y'all ain't just making these comic books to make them. Like
the echo going on your phone. Your echo.
How about hold on? Let me see. Let me turn it down a little bit. How about right now?
I still can hear.
Right there, good.
Still can hear. Let's see. Say something.
Am I good?
Yeah, like an echo. You got like an echo voice going on.
All right, let me fix that. Let me see if I can do. I'm turning my mic down, but I don't know what it's gonna do.
Can you hear me now? See something?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I can hear you now. Yeah, he was breaking up there for a minute. He's real
Yeah,
echo in it.
yeah, it's damn Wi-Fi, man. They be tripping over here.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, and like I said, I've always been into it, and I respect it. I respect people who make these comic books because I tried to do my first one, I think last summer. And man, that was the hardest thing I ever did in my life.
What you trying to do?
Look, dog. I'm like, just the plotting, just plotting the comic book took me like all week, and then I'll wake up the next morning like, no, that ain't right. I'm gonna do this all the other way. So you got to draw all the other, you know what I'm saying? Man, it was the hardest thing I ever did in my life, but I want to do it again. Like I'm addicted now. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. No, you know what? Don't give up. Just do baby steps. I tell people like that, beginners like you, just do baby steps, man. If you could do 10 pages, if you want to do a 10-page comic book, you could do a 10-page, because it gets when you want to print them books out too.
Yeah, I kind of like how Rob, like y'all did with let me turn this up just a little bit. Let me see. Am I echoing right now?
No, you're not going. You're not going.
All right. I was gonna say another thing too, man. Congratulations on y'all with you doing the Prophet and then the Brigade.
Oh, thanks, man.
You know what I'm saying? I was kind of tripping out, like whoa, like this is big, you know. Because I'm like, man, it's been 30 years.
You represent the RL boys, man, me and Rob.
Yeah, the RL boys, you know. Man, y'all had Dan Fraga in there. Y'all had my boy Philip Tan. That's the dude I'm trying to be like right now. You know what I'm saying?
He wanted to bring the whole crew back for that special moment.
It was good too.
Rob was young when he did that, but he said he was 18.
Man, real young. Started off so young, man. So I didn't know he was that young until I seen that the Spike Lee commercial that he did, right? And I'm like, man, I thought he was an old dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, he creating all these characters. He got like, man, 30, 40 characters. He got teams of characters. And to be doing that at his age, man, I was like, this the X-Force guy? He looked like he a couple years older than me. And so that made me believe that I can do it, you know.
He's very enthusiasm. His enthusiasm it rolls on you. He always wants you to be better. The advice he always gave me when I was younger, I always took that advice to heed, and he's seen it. And fast forward now, he gave my shot, and I was thankful for that because that was my first professional work as a professional, and my career, and he opened the door for me, and man, that changed my life.
Man, what was that? What was that feeling like when you saw him draw Agent Solo though? Because I know even I got goosebumps. He's my character, you know.
Yeah, that was during the pandemic. It was during the pandemic, and my campaign was almost short. Then Rob stepped in, and he made it happen, man. It just blowed up after that, and he did the cover, and he loved the character. He got the books. He got all the books. He got the toy. He got everything.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
He got the T-shirt.
Nick, when I saw that cover, right, I saw that y'all was doing a Kickstarter. Y'all was a few dollars short from reaching the goal.
Yeah.
I saw that he did the cover, and I'm like, as soon as I saw it, I know his style because I've been imitating him for 30-some years. And I was like, oh man, that's the coldest thing ever right there, boy. Man, that was cold.
Yeah.
And he didn't even it was just a basic pose. He didn't draw him in action or nothing. He was just kind of just standing there, in a dynamic pose. And I'm like, that's Rob's specialty, man. He know how to take something and just blow it up, put the icing on the cake. Like that's always been his thing.
It was just surprising when he told me, like, I'm a big fan of your work. I love Agent Solo. And I'm like, you love Agent Solo? What? I was like, oh, this is crazy. Oh, my God. Wow, life for love Agent Solo. Oh, man.
Yeah. It's a marketable character, man. Like,
thank you.
Like, that character, I can see him, man. I can see him like on like T-shirts, coffee mugs. Like, I can see people having, like, posters in their room, like you know what I'm saying, like just like with Captain America or Deadpool, you know what I'm saying. It's that character is real marketable, dog. And I've been doing this for a long time, and
I wanted to give a positive hero, just to show kids that you don't have to be tough to use guns. He used to be a soldier, but his memory he lost memory loss, so he don't use guns or nothing. Because he's already a deadly weapon. He's a bonding man.
Right.
with 100 some different moves of martial arts, the jitsu, karate, like you name it.
Yeah,
Along
and
with
like I said, I don't want to tell people what's
stuff.
in the comic book, but it was like it's certain scenes in there. I think it's Age of Solo 1. It's how the whole comic book starts off.
Yeah,
It's like he's in it jumped. It's kind of like a movie that jumps right into the action.
yeah.
That's the best way to describe
The
it.
plan with that was to. I want everybody to just to jump in on board of him. Then, as I go along with the story, you see little snippets I was putting in a region of him, so people start knowing to get to know. Okay, you get to start seeing little back regions of him, how he became what. And it's still going to be like that. When I keep making these issues, you get
Yeah,
more of who he
and
was.
that was another thing too. The different elements of different cartoons I used to watch. It kind of gave me like GI Joe vibes a little bit because you got
Yeah,
some spy thriller stuff going on in there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You got the teams. You got teams of characters. Globe unit and you
Yeah,
know what I'm
man.
saying, like.
How it was when we was coming home from school, man. G.I. Joe had them new members like the
Yeah.
Panther, the twins. Oh man, I just love that stuff, man. And I mean, I just put stuff in that I loved. I just put stuff in that I loved as a kid. What can I do some major solo? I'm doing right now. I'm going to do an on-demand store where people could get like the back issues because
Yeah.
they just every time I get copies of them made, it goes so quick, but due to inflation, stuff so high, it is hard to maintain back order. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a on demand store, and I will put it up for people to get the copies, and they'll be able to get them direct sent to them from the printer.
Yeah, because I'm learning from y'all too, because this is all new to me. You know what I'm saying? You see, it took me a minute to even get online today, so I'm kind of learning as I go.
Hey man,
Because
we all learn from stuff. It's no
yeah,
biggie. It's
but
all good.
being an artist, it I can't always be on social media 24/7. So
Yeah.
I'm in the process now, kind of getting a social media manager to help me out. Because I got sometimes drawing, man, it takes hours to get your stuff work, right. So I want to concentrate on that, and then kind of have some people kind of help me out with the social media thing. So that's where I'm at right now as far as that goes.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I really
I'm definitely
understand.
gonna work on my next comic book. Hopefully it'll be out by like my birthday in August.
August.
But like I said, it's just the plotting and getting everything right, man.
Just create what you know, man. Create what you know and create what you love.
Right.
Create
And
so
I
that
have this character. I got this character called Buzzkill, right? When I met Jim Lee at the C2E2, you know what I'm saying, I shook his hand and everything. I thought I had superpowers after that, right? So I went down and started drawing this old character that I had when I was 13. And I was like, now that I'm a better artist, I kind of like the way the drawing came out. So I was like, okay, now I'm gonna run with this. Usually when you're drawing, you always want to get better, but sometimes you can't, doing it every day, you can't see yourself getting better. But
yeah,
but nowadays, I be on the Twitch channel, drawing right along with Jim Lee, or I get on the Extreme channel, I see all the different artists drawing Rob characters that I forgot about,
yeah,
just doing that every day, man. I feel myself getting better. I got a community of people that's doing the same thing I do. I ain't the only one sitting around reading comic books like it is in my house,
yeah.
I got a lot of Marvel movie fans over here, but I'm the Marvel fan, like the comic book guy. So
Yeah. No, I understand.
So that's how that is, man. And I just want to get deeper into it, man. Like I'm staying inspired by Rob. Like he just did the Airborne comic book, I was like, oh, this is hot. You know what I mean? So it ain't like basketball. We ain't got no shelf life. We can do this for as long as we want to, And then like with the death of Neil Adams and a couple other people, man, it's just like, hey, if you got an idea in your head, man, just get it out there and just see what happens, man.
Yep. Get it out there. Get it out there. Now, how long you been what made you get like into like the whole painting sidewalks, man? Is that hard to do? Cause
oh man, that was
I remember you did Agent Solo like when the whole pandemic, man. That blow. I put it.
Yeah, that was cool. That was
I think I put it in book 1 or 2. I can't remember. But
it was book 2.
Man, that was love, bro.
Yeah,
Real.
that was book 2. I remember because I was downtown. Yeah, I got to tell you this story, dog. You know what it is. I was downtown in Battle Creek. Now downtown in Kalamazoo, Michigan, where I went to high school, and they wanted me to do a guy I went to school with. He's a community organizer, and Jermaine Jackson. A shout out to him. Community organizer. He works in a library. We was in high school. He's the want to be MC Hammer real bad, right? He's a real good R&B singer. He hit me up and was like, "Hey, Gerald, we're gonna do this Black Lives Matter. We want you to do it on outside on the street, in the middle of the street, like where the cars turn, the yellow lane. They wanted me to do one right there, and I'm like, I was like, man, y'all know how much that's gonna cost y'all? That's the first thing I said, right? It's gonna cost y'all some money, man. I hope y'all got y'all money. He's like, oh yeah, the government paying for it. Once he said that, I was like, oh okay. They cut me a check. I went out there. We had to go to a paper company and get these big stencils, right? It ain't no different than drawing on paper, man. It just imagine if the paper is like a mile long. It's the same concept, dog.
It's mad,
what I was talking about drawing big. I got to draw big. You get to see the mistakes you're making. So I did the B, the L, and the M because that was in color. And then we got all these artists from like young artists, elementary school, some artists from Grand Rapids, Michigan. We got them to do the rest of the letters. And once I did that, man, the whole community came out. News 3 came out. Fox 17 came out, but they wouldn't talk to me. Like anybody with Fox, they didn't want to, they didn't want to talk to me. But I did that one. Then when I got to Battle Creek, right, they was like, oh, you did the Black Lives Matter mural up there. We jealous. We want one now. We want one in the other city. So I was like, okay. They was like, oh, you live up here. You should do ours. So I was like, okay. But if I do this one, I said, if I do this Black Lives Matter mural, y'all gonna have to let me do the Black Lives that matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Like these are like I'm gonna put my own personal touch on this, or I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? That was my that was my stipulation. They was like, okay, just whatever. We just want to get it done. And so I did that, and I'm like, oh man, what can I put inside these letters? And I remember I had just got the Agent Solo because I was waiting for it for a long time because I remember, I was participating in the campaign, seeing how much money y'all made and all that. And I gave it to my homegirl Sophie. She's my assistant when because I had 3 assistants. I ain't do none of this by myself, man. I had people helping me.
That's good.
I even had little kids helping me. Yeah. So that was the first comic book that Sophie ever read. Was your comic book? Agent
really?
Solo. I want to let you know that was the very first comic book she ever read. Right? She was like, "This is really good. I never. Are they all like this?" And I'm like, "No. Every comic book is different. This is just Raymond doing his thing, And she read it. She was like, I said, man, we should put this in one. We should put Agent Solo on one of the letters because I knew what was gonna happen. People gonna start coming to me. Hey, who is that? Oh man, go to Kickstarter. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. You'll find out who that is. And that's kind of what happened. People started to recognize who that was, man. And so I put Agent Solo in there. I put some people I knew from the first Black people I met up here. I put them in there. And this is this town is Sojourner Truth's. This is where she lived when she passed away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she buried right down the street from my house, man.
Oh man, that's
yeah, definitely. Real talk. So I know a lot of her descendants, right? All her descendants still live up here, so I put some of them in there. One of her descendants is a blues singer. She's one of the first Black people I met when I moved here. So I put them in there, put them right next to Agent Solo. I put Ice Cube in there. Everybody who influenced me. Static Shock.
I had to show that whole mirror, man.
Man, it's mine. Like it's my whole childhood. It's everything I love up in there, and that's the only reason I did it. And then right after I did that one, I did one for the local police department up here that say "Stand in Solidarity," but I did it in Jamaican letters, like kind of like Bob Marley. I shot the sheriff type
Yeah.
thing, because that's what my daddy listened to a lot. So I put them two murals right next to each other, so that way the police department got one, and then the people in the community got one, but they right next to each other. So
you're a very busy dude, man. I be peeping you online, man. I remember you tagging me. You was at Little Boosie's estate.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, where the hell is this dude?
Yeah, man, we was so blown that night. Man, they tried to steal my Agent Solo comic book, man. I thought I lost it. I went back in the house to get it. They in there reading it. I'm like, man. Yeah, that was a while. Yeah, my nephew got a cousin named Big Tim's, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. He was just getting started doing his music thing, you know what I'm saying, like with the whole rap thing. And we went down there because his Boosie signed a couple guys up here from Battle Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, and so and these dudes is younger than me, so I ain't really know who they were. When I be rapping, I hang with a certain crowd. You know, all my people up there in Chicago, right? So they come down there, they like, hey man, we know you good with the camera and everything. Won't you come down here to Boosie crib with us? And at first I'm like, who? Like, what you mean just come down to this crib? Like, he said it a lot casual, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, let's got like, they're younger than me. I'm the oldest. I'm like, okay, I'll be manager / bodyguard / whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we get down there and we get to the studio, and man, this dude got a real nice house, man. This it's one of the nicest houses I've ever seen down there in the ATL. But we get down there and they got my comic books with me, reading in the car. Everybody's like, who is this? What's the Agent Solo? I never heard of it. The Black Captain America or something, I said, no, you're for Captain America up. I mean? Man, and the thing about it too, man, everybody was just like hooked on it. Everybody like, people who ain't never read no comic book before still love it. And that's the thing I like, They're like, man, let me get this one. I'm like, nah, man, that one mine. It's autographed and everything. I'm like, can't give you this one, but you can hit up the Kickstarter or whatever, get your own or whatever, what I'm saying? It's all good. But yeah, we had a good time down there, man. And I was supposed to go back down there with them, but I think I had to do a mural up here.
Mm-hmm.
And but then when they came back, they had caught COVID. So look, it was a good thing I didn't go that time. Some told me, I was like, oh man, y'all ain't down there partying, had a video going.
Yeah, that COVID is everywhere now. It's still going on, man. You gotta be careful out here.
Yeah, but that was a good time, man. We gonna go back down there now that we got 2-3 books out. I'm gonna be back down there pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? We still gonna kick it, man. You invited, you invited if you ever get some free time, man. Definitely.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. You both from Chicago. Who was the favorite group you was listening to back then, man? Because me, it was Crucial Conflict, Duo. It was some snipers.
Yeah, my sister and them know Crucial Conflict. They all grew up over there on Chicago Avenue together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And and my auntie know all, snipers and all of them, because they was all kids when I was living in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And I used to listen to all of it, man, because it was like it wasn't that many rappers back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you go online now, you see all kind of people rapping. But
I'm friends with JD Walker.
Oh, straight up?
Yeah, he hit me up on my inbox. I was supposed to do some CD work for him, but I haven't heard anything back from him after that. I think I was just too busy, man. I wasn't able to do any of that because everything was going so fast with the Agent Solo stuff. I wasn't able to do none of that though. But he did hit me up.
Yeah, and my daddy being a photographer for so many years, he got pictures with everybody, man. Fred Hampton, Muhammad Ali, Twister, Don Juan. Anybody up there that's doing it big or any festivals going on, my daddy be right there in the mix, man. So
yeah.
And that's another reason I learned how to, be a director of photography and learn composition too, was from all them photo albums and all them pictures that he used to have,
So what is your advice for people that's trying to be like chalk. I call it street painting because it's just phenomenal. What do you got guys really want to get into that, man? Because like I said, I be when I be going to the conventions, man, y'all be doing the walls, the sidewalks up, man.
Yeah.
Ain't no way I like to do that, man. I'm an artist, but I ain't be able to do that shit.
But man, it's but like I said, it's just if you just tried it one day, man, it ain't no different than having a piece of paper. Cause I love drawing on paper.
Man, that ain't happening. I barely do my exercise, man. I got squats and all.
Yeah.
Man.
But it's but what I would say, if you want to get into something like that, though, as best as possible, try to just watch, in general too, just watch your health. Get up, exercise. A lot of times I like to get started early in the morning. I'll wake up early, drink some coffee or something, smoke a little bit, go out there, knock it out. I like to do 4-hour intervals. If I can do something, I like to do most of my meals I can do between 4 and 8 hours. I can make it like a work shift. You know what I'm saying? Do 4 hours, take a break, do another 4 hours, go home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I work. A lot of other people, I'm gonna airbrush this and do all that, but I work with acrylic paint because I don't like chemical spraying in my face. So
yeah.
But that's my thing. When I did the sidewalk downtown, man, my whole body was sore when I got done, but when I posted it online and everything, and I saw the response that it got and all that, it made it all worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like when you finish your comic book and you finally see it in people's hands. You've been working on this for so long. People don't understand, like, that ain't just happened overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to sit there and plot all that and put all that in there, and like the page count and the dialogue and all of that. It's a lot, man. And it kind of reminded me when I was making animation films. I'm like, man, this is harder than animation.
Yeah, it is.
I was like, and then to create your own character and to put it in there and to put action in there to try to get like your influences and do all of that and to make it all come out in one cohesive piece, man. It ain't no easy thing to do, but it's a beautiful thing when it's done,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any question you have to ask me? Anything you want to ask me?
Yes. About we got to talk about Violet Bird, man. That was
what you want to know?
That was everything I was waiting on too, because I was waiting on it for a minute because she was the first female, one of your first female characters that I drew. So I had my little sketchbook and I was doing Jim Lee, right? I'm drawing along with Jim Lee, and so already know my whole sketchbook full of Batman stuff because that's all he draws.
Yeah,
and what I noticed about Jim Lee was he's a human being, man. He make mistakes just like any other artist.
Well,
but he knows how to.
This thing is not messing up. We all do. Yeah. You just keep going. You make the best of it. You just keep on going. You don't get
the thing with him though is he know how to make his mistakes look dope. Like, he know how to. If it's too dark over here, he'll make it too light over here. He got a real grasp on contrast and line work and how to make stuff look sharp. Because I saw one time he didn't want to draw like an angle at a certain way, so he put a cape on him, but they made the cape look dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he does stuff like that, and I learned a lot drawing along with him, and just like your characters, because like I had my big sketchbook. I bought like a big one, and I drew Masquerade, I drew Swift Blade, I drew, what I'm saying? I was just going through the comic book. I see a page and I'm just drawing these characters, man. And I got to the one dude, I think it was General Relic.
General Relic, that's the leader.
This is a scary looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
And thinking in my head though, like,
you ever seen Dead Heat? Remember that movie Dead Heat?
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, I get that. That's that idea came kind of like from him, like that.
Okay, now it's coming back to me. Now it's coming back. But you see what I'm saying though? Like, you take your influences, man, you put them out there. That's and
this
what I'm saying? It brings me back to my childhood a little bit.
Yeah, Violet Bird, I created that in the pandemic. She got created in the pandemic.
Oh, straight up.
I really enjoyed it. It really wasn't supposed to go to Art-Treprenuer Press, but the guy at Art-Treprenuer, he wanted to you know, he didn't want to be, he wasn't playing fair ball with me. He wanted to get like a contract or they're supposed to give you, like when you're doing stuff like that with your creator own stuff, they're supposed to give you some type of paperwork. It's called agreement paperwork, because if that book, if it ever gets picked up,
y'all got a contract in place.
Right, they gotta pay me half. They gotta pay me creator rights, and he didn't want to do that. So I took off the table, and I just said I'm just gonna go ahead and just do it my way, and that was to do the Indiegogo campaign, and just I went on I wrote the story, drew it, inked it, and I just had my colorist buddies hook it up for me. And I just did it from there, man. Because I wasn't about to be, because you got to be careful with these publishers, because they think because you're young and you hungry,
you don't know what you're talking about,
and they will take and don't ever believe when they say, "Oh, nobody not gonna take your creations." They will take it if they figure you don't know your right.
Yeah, I done been on a couple of Facebook groups, and they knew I was an artist, and they didn't. Yeah, I done had some issues with some people myself, so
yeah,
I already know. But back to the Violet Bird comic book. I finally, like, I got back from the C2E2. I had all these comic books, man, and I was like, man, this is the one I've been waiting on for so long, so I got to read this one first, right? You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I read it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is dope, right? Man, I'm feeling this shit right here, because I'm already waiting on the next one to come out, right? So. But that first, it's always the first pages, right? I open it up, and it's well, I ain't gonna tell y'all what happened. I ain't gonna put it out there, y'all. But the first few pages of that book is like a movie scene. You know what I'm saying? Like I can just picture that. It felt like it was in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like whole vibe and everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the weirdo, some of the weird people that we got in our city,
Yeah, I wanted to make an element of Chicago feel, because, I learned from Stan Lee and how he would take Daredevil and make it Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
So how he made the whole Hell's Kitchen thing, made it. If you know, all Marvel comics are based, all the heroes are based in New York.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, I want my heroes to be in Chicago. I'm here in Chicago. I can't tell you what's going on.
That's same thing I said. So, and then, like I said, my daddy being a photographer, I knew all the the historical places that I can put in the background. You know what I'm saying? Not just the Sears Tower, but like the ground level places. Places on the west side, like them old men might have a club over there for 40 years or something. I throw that in the background. Just make it authentic. Just like they do in LA, just like they do in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wanted to, also I wanted to give her a serious, like a serious matter, because she's a lawyer, but she fights PTSD because she seen her parents get killed at a young age.
Yeah. That affects anybody, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was because her parents, there was high profile lawyers like Johnny Cochran.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's another thing I liked about that book, because you had you had action, but then you kind of had it's kind of like a lawyer show too. You know what I'm saying? You had the relationship between like the different people in the police department. You know what I'm saying? And kind of broke that down. But the end of the book though, like I ain't gonna call it a cliffhanger, but it's I gotta come up with a new word for it.
You catch
the very end, the way it ended though, like it gotta be another one, man. You gotta drop that second one real soon. I gotta see what happens.
The second one will be crazy. It's gonna be no holds barred bloody. I'm gonna make that book so bloody up. It's gonna.
Now keep me notified. Keep me posted or whatever, man. But one more question though, I wanted to know. Then a couple people was asking me if somebody wanted to hit you up, man, and work at Diverse Comics or do like a one shot of one of your characters or just work at Diverse Comics, period. What would they have to do? Like, do you have like somewhere? Could somebody send you their resume, or do you have somewhere like you look at fan art, or
Well,
because I know you got the Guytron. What is it, Guytron? I always send my
yeah,
fan art to it.
Guytron.
It's still a Yahoo account though, I think.
He's like my Spectre Man, my Spectre Man
Yeah,
character. He fight all the kaiju monsters and stuff, and he works retail hell. What I do is when I'm doing collabs with people, usually I would really seek them out. Cause right now it's just me and my brother, man. We just did this because we just got sick of going in the Marvel line, man, trying to get work at Marvel Comics. We just got sick of it, man.
Yeah. Shout out to him too, man. RL boy, you know what I'm saying? He's doing it big, man.
So like, cause me and him both was like, look, we ain't getting no younger, man. We can't keep getting in this line like this. We're not getting nowhere. They're not picking us up. They're not seeing us. Our name's not on the ball. We just got sick of it. It wasn't like we was like, fuck these guys. We weren't saying that. We just like, look, some got to give. We got to stop this, or we just not going nowhere with this, you know. And so
and you think about it, man. You seen it before, just not in comic books, but just in hip hop music. Master P said the same thing, man. Yeah. Dr. Dre said the same thing. Like I'm tired of this. Some gotta give, or if I don't do it, you know what I mean. So.
Right, I got tired of it, man. I got tired. Then when I do show him, Wolverine, he don't do that. Oh, this don't look like Wolverine, or Wolverine's claws a certain end. I just got tired of it. Fuck this shit, man. I'm just gonna go ahead and just do my own thing.
Tired of that, man. You gotta do your thing, man.
I just want to do my own thing. That's what me, I was the first to do it. Then Ryan came behind me, but I was the first to really do all of it. And when I want to collab with someone, I would usually look at them. If I need them for something, cover or whatnot, I reach out to them, man, I would like for you to do this. Like I got a new artist right now. Okay. He's going to be on the Spectre Madness.
Okay.
I just picked him up.
But now your fan art page is still the same, right? What is it? Is it Guytron?
It's Guytron It's Guytron. It's Guytron 104 at Yahoo. People send their fan art to me. Okay, and I like to put art in the books because to me art is just art. I love looking at all type of different art.
Man, I appreciate that too, man. Put my that wasn't my favorite picture I drew of Agent Solo, but it was.
No man,
I tried to make him look like Wayne Brady. But I appreciate you putting that in there, man, because like now I can go around and say I got a picture published in a comic book.
Yeah, I get so much of it. I try my best to put everybody in the book, and if I can't put them in the book, what I do, I put them in the next one. Because it be so much. I still got stuff from the pandemic that couldn't make. I didn't have the room to put in the book. But every time I'm doing a book, I try to make sure I put somebody up. I try to make sure I put artwork in there because people took the time.
I so appreciate that too, man. I was like, I always wanted my work in a comic book, man, and you made that happen for me, man. I never forget that, dog. Like real talk.
Thank you. No,
real
man.
Talk, man. Like it.
You took the time out to draw it.
Like when I take over Spike Lee's spot, man, you ever want a cameo in a movie, whatever, man, just come on the set. That's all you got to do. Like you ain't even got to say, I'm almost there though. I'll be there in a minute.
No, man. Like I said, I know what I do.
Now I know I asked you this question before about creating another DCU, like a diverse comics, universe. What movie, like what character you think would best fit in an action movie, but besides Agent Solo? Because that's a given right there.
One of my characters?
Yeah, like a Guytron or something like that. I was like, I can almost picture that guy just in one of them, like Power Ranger type.
Yeah, that'd be like a Power Ranger type show.
He reminded me of that era,
Yeah, I put myself in Gavin Fry because when I created him, I was working Toys R Us.
Oh, straight up.
Yeah, that was another retail hell job. What Toys R Us was when you're young. You be like, man, I want to work. You want to be there. So when I did get Toys R Us, it was fun. No lie, no cap. Yeah. But then with manager, when you get that manager, when manager change and the cool managers all gone, then they start sending out assholes in, then that's where it gets crappy. You know, they got crappy.
I know what you mean about the retail health thing. I was a produce manager at Walmart for a few years, right? This was when I started working there. It was right when I started my TV show. So imagine that I'm working and you got people coming in there. Hey, what's up, man? I seen you on TV last night and woo woo woo. You know what I'm saying? Then I had a rap album out too. So now I got all these people coming to my department. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily buying them, but they want to hang out and kick it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I started getting managers that was like basically jealous. And not to mention the whole race thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I told myself, I'm like, okay, this time, all my other jobs, I was, I either got fired or I quit. But this job, I'm gonna actually have an exit plan. And I told myself, like, I'm gonna work here for so many years. I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna make comic books. I'm gonna just go crazy with it. You know what I'm saying? And when I got that TV show though, that's when I felt I was like, I felt that first taste of freedom of having an outlet. You know, this when social media, this when MySpace and social media just started to pop, right? You got MySpace music. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when all that just started getting going and having different campaigns and stuff. So when that came about, I kind of stepped back from rapping a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I love hip hop and everything, but I kind of stepped back from that and started working more on my artwork and stuff I started neglecting. Because when I got my phone and I started like learning to listen to podcasts and stuff while I was drawing, I was like, I discovered, I'm like, they got all different types of categories, right? Everything ain't I listen to Wolverine a lot. They got a Wolverine, the long night, and it's just a Wolverine story.
Yeah.
You listen to while you're drawing, right? And I'm like, okay, this dope. And I was like, I wonder what any creators got. So I looked up Jim Lee. He had his Twitch channel. I looked up Rob Liefeld, and like I think the same day he had just started Robservations.
The Rob,
I discovered it the same day. I'm like,
Whatnot, he does the Whatnot now. That's
he's doing it all big now. But
you see him on there. He's on there live. I mean, he's on there telling stories. He's on there giving away artwork. I mean, he be on just that Whatnot is wow. His Whatnot.
But yeah, I checked that out, right? And of course, I was instantly hooked. I was hooked. I was like, this Rob talking for an hour. I ain't never heard of. He started saying stuff I ain't never heard of. Like I didn't know Heroes Reborn was #1. If you would have asked me what was the #1 comic book, I probably would have said Giant Size X-Men because that's the one I had.
Yeah,
that's the one I kind of learned to draw with. It was big, but I didn't know he came in, and I knew Heroes Reborn was big because they redrew all the classic characters. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, oh, because I didn't even read Captain America until Rob started doing it. Like I knew who he was, but when Rob started drawing him, I was like, oh, okay, I can rock with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then plus my mom didn't let me have a lot of Captain America because he always had like Red Skull and he had the Nazis, swastikas and stuff. My mom from Mississippi, she wasn't playing that, So I used to read a lot of U.S. Asian comic books.
Kind of very situation. Some parents didn't want their kids reading because there's a lot of, they said, considered hate. That's what the comic
code, witchcraft and
comics code was like, kind of hit their grip on it. But I'm glad they don't have it because if comic code was still on comics, you won't be getting a lot of voice opinion like you want to.
Because it's when I got to high school, man, I started discovering like independence and I'm talking about aliens eating girls, and I'm like, man, this one in the comic books I was reading.
That was my breakthrough, though. That was really my breakthrough because I still got the thick Ninja Turtle marriage book and that graphic novel book.
Oh, straight up.
Yeah, that really changed. That right there really changed a lot. I'm glad it's successful.
So we here now, man. Like, and this is, what you think the future of comic books is, man? Like I said, you gonna get into the movie? Like, when you gonna get into the movie business, man?
Hold on, you breaking up. So I asked you a question. You breaking up? What you say?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Hold on, let me fix this right quick. Can you hear my voice? Good.
You say something like echoing again.
Oh, let me turn it back down. Let me see. Yeah, this thing be acting funny, man. All right, let's see. How about now?
Still echoing.
Still echoing? All right.
You got TV on or something? You got your computer on?
Nah, but I think they're in the other room watching TV. Hold on 1 second. Let me tell them.
Yeah, something on. Something on.
All right, let's see. All right, let's see.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm good. Let's see. Can you hear me now?
Still echoing.
Yeah, let's fix that. I want to mess with my volume a little bit.
Can you hear me now? Say something now.
How about right now?
Yeah, you better.
Better right now? Okay, should I turn that down a little bit?
What question?
All right. Yeah, so what I was just gonna ask you what you got next, man. Like what's the next you got Agent Solo out, you got Violet Bird out.
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna do to one, is Spectre Magnus?
Oh, okay. Spectre Magnus, I'm gonna debut him in a seven page issue preview in the back of it'll be in Agent Solo issue 4.
Okay. Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of pages, man.
All right. Do you have a you remember how DC Comics had those Who's Who? When they kind of told who all the characters are?
A Who's Who book. It should be a value one. I got a lot of stuff that that's like I got on the table. So I'm working one by one. Before I want to announce it, I want to make sure everything's done because I got to get that stuff done. Yeah. So I'm just doing stuff that I know I can get done. Then that who's type stuff is going to come down the line. But I drew stuff for it. You just that.
Okay.
I got to get to it.
You can get to it, yeah. Because you're only one man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I draw.
One hand, one pencil. You know?
I got a lot. I got 2023 is where I'm looking for the Agent Solo though, issue 4. Like I said, there's a lot of books on there.
Okay, cool. Yep. All right, man. Yep.
I don't know. I guess it was. I don't know. I think on my end, Dave, I think on my end, I was just gonna hear him. It was like echoing. I don't know why. That's strange. That's strange to me that was happening. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, who knows, man, with these phones, man. Like if I had my headphones on, you probably wouldn't hear none of this feedback. But I'm in my studio, so
this is weird because he said you didn't hear no echo from your end. I heard echo from your end. That's just nuts, man. That's why I hate technology could be so nuts, man. I'm like, man, what is going on?
I don't know. That's probably people at Apple probably listening to us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trying to see what we're talking about.
Your guy Daly on here, man. From Brett Scott from Marvel Plus. Your buddy.
Oh, what's up? Yeah.
He on here. So
he's from the Galaxy Con in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? First big show.
How's going, Mr. Rainbow 2028? What's going on, Mr. Rainbow? Hope you still on here.
Let's see. I can't see right quick. All right, there we go.
Yeah, I want to make sure everyone. I don't want to make sure nobody want to ignore no one. Okay. But it was good talking to you, man. It was good talking to you.
Yeah, man, most deaf, man. Hey, like I said, I'm getting into the I'm getting more into the social media thing. I'm finna get into the podcast thing. I'm trying to work it in there with the rest of the artwork that I'm doing. You know, slowly but surely. But we definitely gonna talk again, though.
Yeah, well, just do it, man. Just get it out there, man. I mean, like it's fun to do. It's very hard work, though. It's not hard work because I'm getting equipment. As I'm talking to you, I'm getting a camcorder.
Right.
Just set it up to just talk to people. Cause right now I'm just trapping off my phone, man.
Oh yeah, you know how it is. Look, I'm talking to you on my art table.
Trapping off my phone. People think I'm like, man, I'm trapping off my phone. Sometimes I got my little earbuds in.
Yeah.
Microphone to go to thing. That's it, man. I just be trapping off my.
I got a TV station I go to, and they just got a big podcast room in there, and I want to use it. You know what I mean? But then again, I can do it on my phone too. You know, sitting at the house. So I'm trying to figure all that out right now because I got my I got my name, I got the podcast started and all that stuff. All I got to do is go in there and record something. But I ain't been doing it lately because I've been I'm trying to figure out what do I want to talk about because I want to have like a Star Wars segment, a comic book segment.
Make a list of what you like, man. Just whatever you love, just talk about it, man. Make a list of it.
Like that, huh? Yeah, I'm probably gonna take Rob approach. Just whatever whatever we get to talking about, we just go with it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yep.
But it's good. How can people reach you, man, to check out your work, man? You got a link that I mean, you can send it to me now. Add it to the video here.
Yep. I'll send you my link or whatever. I'll send you my email. My email is GRodKing. Well, GRodKing777@gmail.com. And then you can my Instagram. I want y'all to hit me up on Instagram. Starting from now on because I'm probably about to get off of Facebook.
You can send me the links, all the links. Just send me all the links, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add it all to the video here.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it in the description, so they'll be able to click on to follow you. They want to see your work because you do some phenomenal work, and I think people need to see it. Like because ain't no way I could draw on concrete, man.
Yeah, I got a video of me actually doing that whole process, man. I might put it out there.
Yeah, man.
Get a chance to put on YouTube.
That stuff, man, because like I said, that's some insane talent, bro. Like seriously, like.
Oh, man, appreciate it.
One thing I like about talking to other artists like you and everyone else, I love to understand like how did y'all come about that? I mean, like because to me that's a special gift that I feel that everybody not gifted to do that, man. Because I know I'm not. And I just like really just I think that just really fascinated to me, and I'm glad you came here to share your story with us today, and share out that one, and just keep doing it, man. Like if you want to do a comic book, man, do it. I advise like if this your first one, and you probably on a tight budget because inflation is high as hell.
Oh yeah.
Do white, what I'm saying, do a good black and white book. It's cheaper. You can get out there faster because it's cheaper and you ain't got to pay a lot of money because doing a color book is just ridiculous now.
Yeah. I might take that advice, man. But like I said, I'm soaking it all in, man. If you ever got any advice for me, man, hit me up, message me, whatever. Just let me know, dog. Real talk.
Sure. But that'll be the end of the show, guys. I'm glad. Shout out to everyone who tuned in. Also, subscribe to Diverse Comics and Pop. Help the channel grow. I'm currently at almost 300 subscribers.
Yeah, y'all going up, man. Y'all numbers going up. I see.
Run it up, y'all. I'm trying to get to 1,000, but run it up, man. We're doing good. I just like to showcase artists. If you're an artist and you feel your work is ready to be showcased, hit me up, and I won't mind getting you an interview. You know what I'm saying? I like to talk to artists. Hit me up at Guytron104@yahoo.com. Put in subject, interesting interview for artists. You know what I'm saying? Let me know who your name is, and blah blah blah. We'll cut it up. We'll chop it up from there.
Yeah. I got some more fan art I got to put on there, man. I ain't putting that on there in a minute. I got some sketchbook stuff. I gotta work on it a little bit though.
Hey man. Everything starts from scratch, man. None don't just come out the air. You know what I'm saying? Everything is created, brother. It's all good.
Most up.
To you, brother, and just keep doing your thing, man. I'm proud of you, bro. And thank you for like supporting what I do, and it really means a lot to me. Thank you so much, bro. Like really, seriously, it means a lot.
Man, thank you too, man. I'm gonna when I get off here, I'm gonna send you them links right away, though.
For sure.
All right, dog.
All right, take care, everyone. Round them out.